back to They Did What? Your source for the internet's craziest, most entertaining stories, where I go over them, analyze them, and most certainly make fun of them. Today, can I go over a story from over in India titled, My Husband is Kicking Me and My Son Out. I have no one to turn to. How do I make him take us back? And guys, this story is all about a gal. She's the one narrating this. She's 26 years old, married to her husband for a few years, and you're going to see that they had a rocky start to their relationship. They're over in India, and she's from one social class, and he's from another. She's of the higher one, so of course their families don't like each other or eat the kids because of the different classes that they're in. A lot of turmoil there. And you're going to see that she's going to use that turmoil and other things with her husband to justify her having an affair. And wait till you see who it's with. And during her affair and all her excuses for the affair, not only does she get pregnant with that dude's child, but lets her husband think it's his kid, but another one, 2 children that came from her affair partners. But one day, as this all comes out, her husband finds out and her ass is out of there. Kicked her to the curb. But the thing is, he doesn't want the kids either. And now she's looking for a whole lot of pity, and she ain't getting it. And that'd be a good one to go over here, guys, just to show you that it doesn't make a difference where in the world you are. Human nature is human nature, for better or for worse. Men do what they do. Women do what they do. And again, it doesn't make a difference where you live, your culture, your religion, socioeconomic status, education, whether it's present day, 500 years ago, or 100 years in the future. Men and women are the same. And this is why these stories are so important that everybody listens to find out real examples of human nature to hopefully prevent things from happening to you. So, jumping into this, she says here, English is not my first language, and I already know what I did was bad, no, horrible. I have no excuses, and I feel like crap. But you are making a lot of excuses, as you will see, and looking for a lot of pity. Please do give me advice on what to do after this, as I have absolutely no idea on what to do after this. Background. We met in college when we were both 18 years old. It was in no way a fairy tale. We had to fight a lot of issues. Not only did we have our usual couple dynamics, we also had our families hate each other. She says, we're in India. Caste is a huge thing, even in cities. My family is a high caste family, and he's not low caste per se, but still lower than ours. However, we still made it work in spite of all the challenges. Well, it sounds like she was probably going for that forbidden love crap that they show in movies and all that. It gave her the excitement, the butterflies, and the drama. And you're going to connect the dots here real quick and see she likes her drama. We got engaged at 22 years old after he finished his college, and I never bothered to study after my undergraduate degree, as I always thought I'd be a homemaker. Supporting him, I studied psychology and then worked a few jobs to support myself and him, as by the end of college, I was kicked out of my relationship as it was discovered. He too was kicked out, and we had a difficult time trying to find a home, as unmarried couples are kind of taboo. So that's interesting. I think I've heard that in India, any Indian dudes that watch this can confirm that a lot of people, they stay living with their families literally until they get married. I mean, I've heard that's very common. Not everybody does that, but a lot do. Yet we managed, and I worked, and he studied, and after he completed college on a partial scholarship, he found a well-paying job with benefits. We married at 23 years old. Smack! Too fucking young. And life was a dream for some time. We had a good relationship. He was sweet, smart, and caring. But one issue where I was disappointed was our sex life. Aha. She got herself a nice guy. And by the way, obviously she knew what he was like in the sack before they got married. So, interesting, that became an issue after she got a ring on her finger. And he now is paying the bills. And you're going to see, sadly, at the end of the day, the SCX life will always trump everything else when it comes down to it, especially when she's taken care of. He was unsatisfactory. He is not well endowed and is rather small, but also wasn't good without it. I would always be the one who took the lead and tried to use different techniques to make it pleasurable for the both of us, but nothing worked. That was the one area that he was lacking. However, we had a good time other than that. But almost after 9 months, everything changed. In 2018, his father died. We were still not communicating much with our families, but at least he used to ask about us from time to time. We never heard from my side, and they always ignored me when I tried to reconnect. Well, maybe there's a reason they didn't want to have anything to do with her, as it could be bigger issues with her personality, as you're about to see. He was very close to his father, and his family allowed him to come and see him before he died. This death affected him badly. He was a little distant, and initially, I understood, but after some time, I missed him, as it felt like he was around less and less. This affected him in a professional way, too, as his sudden fall in performance caused his colleague to be promoted over him, and he became the boss. So, yes, he's having the issues with his family. Sounds like he was disowned for marrying her. But he still loved his father, and his dad died when he was young. So, understandably, he's pretty upset and depressed, and a true loving, loyal wife would be supportive of that and help him anyway, instead of what you're going to see. This colleague was the one who would destroy our lives as we knew it. Hold on, honey. No, this colleague of his didn't destroy your life. You destroyed your life and your marriage, and you're going to see. Let's see here, where did I leave off? Let's call him C. He was everything my husband was not in terms of personality. My husband was shy, reserved, and quiet, while C was loud, boisterous, party-loving, funny guy. He's a Chad. He's an Indian Chad, whatever you want to call an Indian Chad. Any Indian guys out there, let me know what an Indian Chad name is. Indian Chad or Tyrone. He was also very flirty. Initially, we met at one of the office dinners, and where C constantly flirted with me. Initially, I was offended, as he knew I was married to his employee, but as the parties increased, as he was a relaxed type of boss who invited all his employees out, often to parties and other activities, he started to flirt more and more, and my defenses started to fall. So the guy she initially just finds repulsive by his boisterous behavior, all of a sudden she starts finding attractive. And it helps that he makes more money than her husband. Things only got worse as it seemed like my husband was drifting further and further away. Eventually, I fell for his charms and returned it by lightly flirting when it was just the two of us. This must have given him some kind of boost, as he now doubled down. He started inviting us, like me and husband, and him alone. He was single, and I found weird, as he was just the same age as us, 24 then, 26 now. Well, he's single by choice. My husband, meanwhile, got worse and started smoking. I tried to get him to leave it, but he refused. By this time, we were fighting much, much more often. C, on the other hand, was now getting more and more flirty, and we started having an emotional affair. This is her way of resolving this, and again, you heard she's blaming him for the destruction of their marriage and family. Eventually, one day before office, me and my husband fought, and when he left, I called C and he took a leave. I found it touching that my own husband always fought me, but C came after one call. C came after one call because he wanted to swoop in when she was vulnerable, upset, and emotional, and he could pork her. That's why. At that point, we hooked up. That was one of the best ones I've ever had. Of course, because he's an Indian Chad or Tyrone. All of my frustrations, all this built-up energy finally came out. Not only was he much bigger than my husband, he was much better at techniques and stamina too. This started an affair that dragged out for too long. I eventually got pregnant by C, and here my husband changed. At this point, when I told him, he was quite quiet for a second, and then grew ecstatic, believing that the child was his. I was so scared, I lied that it was his, and hid my affair. He changed virtually overnight, and became everything he was before. He again became the caring, sweet, and stayed this way until now. So husband finds out she's pregnant. He's having a surge of feeling good about himself, like, okay, I got another shot here. I'm going to be a father. I got to be strong. He's feeling good, whatever. And he starts becoming the guy that she obviously claimed to fall in love with. He got his mojo back, if you will. But still, this is not his child, and of course she keeps it hidden from him. Now, because Chad and Tyrone ain't going to raise the baby, at this point, I should have ended the affair, but I didn't. I thought I'd fallen in love with C. He had continued the affair until now. After the quarantine, which kept us in place since March this year, and is partially happening till now, was lifted of major restrictions, we met in July when I got pregnant again. And by the way, this story is a couple of years old, guys. One kid and another with C. I guess Chad, Indian Chad. I intended to stop this affair. Really, you could have fooled me. And get an official relationship with C for some time now. Oh, my bad. So she intended to marry, hoping to get Indian Chad or Tyrone to marry her. How's that work out? Chad and Tyrone doesn't settle down. They'll bang wives, but they don't settle down with them. And he agreed with me on that. But unfortunately, one week ago, he finally told his family about me. He did not mention anything else, only the basics like he had won. But as soon as he said my name, it was doomed. C is of a different religion. Interfaith marriage and intercaste marriage are both taboos. So his family immediately rejected me. Oh, poor you. And since he is very close to his family, he broke it off. To make matters worse, somehow his phone chats were all leaked, and his entire office with my husband discovered our affair. Oh boy, poor you. Husband is absolutely devastated. Well, can you blame him? He finds out his wife has been cheating for 2 years, and not one but both his children, who I guarantee he's loved with all his heart and soul, are not his. I would imagine he'd be a bit devastated. But do you give a shit? No. I tried apologizing. Yeah, I'm sure that worked out real well. But it doesn't seem like he'll forgive me. He also took paternity tests of my son, and when it was revealed that he wasn't my child, he started hating him too. He has already kicked me out, as the house was under his name. He has filed for divorce, and now I'm staying at a friend's house. My family simply ignored me. It's raining here, and these are the tears of her all over my car here. Now I'm at a loss of what to do. Please, I know I'm a trashy person, a WHORE, and everything bad, but I really need advice on what to do, as I really want a father figure in the life of my children. Legally, he'll win any case that comes up. Is there any way to reconcile? And that is the end of her crybaby fest, and I'll get on with the comments in a moment. She now wants to... First, she's cheating on him. Pregnant first time, keeps up the affair, gets pregnant a second time, and then it doesn't work out because that guy's different religion and the culture, and okay, fine. And now all of a sudden, she now wants to go back to her husband and make it work out. Meanwhile, she was going to leave him for the other guy. And I still have to wonder if that other guy wasn't making up some BS to get out of his situation. So, and I got to tell you, I feel bad for the kids. It's not the kids' fault that who the mother is. And now, you know, and the father, I mean, her husband here who kicked her out, you can understand how upset he is. But it's not the kid's fault. And I don't know how things work over in that part of the world. Maybe you guys can explain to me, but... unfortunately, those kids are in trouble, and it's really a shame because of her selfishness. You know, obviously that guy C, the Chad or Tyrone, should be paying for those kids if those are his biological children. That's how things would work over here. But then again, over here, the husband would be paying for them too, depending on the birth certificate and all those other things, depending on where you live. But no, lady, you're not going to get pity. You're an asshole. You deserve exactly what you get. And who knows how things work over there. But all I care about is hopefully those kids are taken care of and okay. But her, too freaking bad. You're a selfish a-hole. You got what you deserve. But it's interesting how the husband was going through tough times. His dad died. That's a tough thing, especially if you're close. And immediately, like, oh, no, never mind. And she goes for his douchebag boss. Shocker there. Who she didn't like at first. So, tough shit, honey. Nobody feels bad for you here. But showing you guys, doesn't make a difference where you are. The same type of things happen all over the globe. Now some comments here, and let me tell you, nobody has any sympathy for her. One guy says here, okay, there's no advice. The only victim here is the husband. You wouldn't even care about him if the boss accepted you. Exactly. Another guy says, sorry, honey, you got what you deserve. What the F? Why didn't you at least use protection with C? Hopefully your children are not going to suffer, and C will step up and be the father to them. You're already on shaky ground with him because neither of your families were accepting. Then his dad dies. He gets understandably depressed, and you go and F another man. You really want him back. You just want someone to tell you it's going to be okay and pity you as if he did something wrong. Nope. You just want someone to take care of you and your kids. You made your bed, now you have to sleep in it. Well, she should be sleeping in any beds because you know what happens when she gets into somebody's bed. Another guy says here, accept that you're getting what you deserve because it's the truth. The man owes you nothing. He chose to cheat on him, and he has chosen to cut ties with you as a result. That is his right and a direct consequence of your own shitty actions. End of story. You remember how she was saying that it was C who destroyed her life and marriage? No, you did, asshole. He's a scumbag, don't get me wrong. He was willingly cheating on a woman, cheating with a woman who was married. And he's a scumbag, don't get me wrong. But at the end of the day, she's the worst one. The last comment, this guy says, sounds like you made your bed, time to lay in it. But since you have a child that is being unfairly punished because of your stupid actions, I will say call around to women's shelters so you and your child are not in the streets. Do you have any family that could care for your kids while you get on your feet? I hate to sound harsh, but you're going to have to work from the bottom up and learn to support yourself because you have burnt your bridges with your husband. And who could blame him? I would have kicked you out as well. Be alone for a while and think about how stupid you've been and how not to be such a shitty person in the future. I truly do feel for your children, though. They don't deserve to be in the middle of the situation that you created for them. Yeah, but the thing is, your family may not take those kids in. That's the crazy part, you know. Again, different part of the world, different culture, different religion. And I feel bad for those kids. I really hope those kids are all right. But also, she said she's 26 now. If I'm not mistaken, I believe in India, I think I've heard guys talk about this, that when a gal gets to be mid-20s, after mid-20s, and definitely by 30, they're toast. That is it. It's like, I think they say in China, the leftover women, and I think that's 25 and up. That's it. Goodbye. You're toast. So I don't know. But we shall see about this. Anyhow, the moral of the story is that better be loyal, better be loving, because look what happens. But all over the world, it's the same story. So guys, always pay attention to red flags, keep your eyes open, etc., and understand this information is very useful to know. These stories, because they can really help you out to hear these stories that maybe a situation like this doesn't happen to you. All right, guys, that is it for today. Be sure to comment down below what you think about this, and be sure to like the video, share with your friends, and subscribe. I'll catch you next time.